Weston Brown, Nathan Neal, Noah Brecker,
Don't forget Noah Brecker. He is awfully, awfully tough. And Ford Washburn, of course.
and Ford Washburn. So all the players are here for a pretty dynamic race, and we will get under 9 minutes with this group.
Yeah, this is a slam dunk if there's ever been one. This could be, while it's a slam dunk, Bob, it could be fairly tactical because these guys have raced each other so many times before.
All right, let's meet them all. Alexander Garcia Silver, Prefontaine Track Club. Goose Bay, Robert Matura from Roseville, Minnesota. Nathan Neal, Bozeman, Montana. Austin Westfall, Orem, Utah. Gabriel Schmid, Elfland, North Dakota, or North Carolina. I'm sure that's a chuckle for his family. Hey, those North Dakota kids have been tough here this weekend. There's Jack Henske from Adelphia Track Club in Washington. Bill Conway, Charleston, Indiana. Another Bozeman kid is Weston Brown. He's going to be a player.
No kidding.
Joshua Chu, Rescue, California. And now here's what Colin Bowler looks like. Rocking the Tracksmith, old school look. William
That's
Brunner.
actually Will
Avon
Brunner.
Brunner. This is Brecker, Noah Brecker from Plymouth,
And
Minnesota.
Bob,
the pink.
Colin Bowler dropped out. So one less
did. He's on
great
DNS.
runner. Ford Washburn there.
There's Washburn. Red Washburn. Hayden Boaz from Bend, Oregon. Ryan Sarney, Northeastern Mass. Landon Heemeyer from the Lighthouse in Idaho. And this guy who's pretty exciting, Marcelo Parra from Celerity.
Terrific cross-country runner, but I have a feeling Parra's going to be outclassed by this field. I mean, there are some absolute heavyweights in this thing.
Yeah, Parra's another guy who worked his way up in the age groups in cross-country. Very good in that venue. But there's some longer guys with longer strides here.
One thing about Weston Brown, got a chance to watch him. He came to the podium up in Spokane for an indoor meet this year, and he is quite the savvy, strategic runner. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what kind of tactics he utilizes in this race. I do want to mention, too, that Noah Brecker, you talk about range, this young man, 156.29 for 800. He is 408 flat for 1,600, 849.87 for 3,200. So he is really got a lot of range. And you can see with that distinctive B for Bozeman that our man Weston Brown over there in second is going to have a say-so on how this race is being run. Brecker, the gentleman I was talking about from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not too swift, Bob. This is a tactical race, 67.4, and Brecker says, enough of this, let's go. We can't afford to monkey around with these good conditions. I mean, this is 9:05 pace, and I know everybody in this field wants to go faster than that, but it is a championship, and championship often means tactics. But Brecker has just a beautiful long stride. And Parra there elbowing Westfall. Westfall gives him a dirty look.
Landon Heemeyer in the second spot. He went out early in the lead and has settled in behind Brecker.
It's slow. It's slow. It's championship racing. There's a lot of jostling in there. Weston Brown's got his line there in third, Heemeyer in second, Parra in fourth. And you can see Ford Washburn now on the outside in the white moving up into fifth. See where we land here. That was a 68-second lap, so it's time for these guys to kind of push it. You don't want to let the kickers win this race. And both Weston Brown and Noah Brecker have some pretty good kicks. And we know Ford Washburn's not afraid to wind it up either. Ford Washburn there in the white and red. He has run this year 3:51 for 1,500 meters, which he did at the Hoka Festival of Miles. And then that was en route to a 4:08 mile there. Or, excuse me, 4:10 mile. But he's a
A mover on the outside is Ryan Sarney from Massachusetts. He's in that blocked red, blue, and white.
And Brecker goes by in 3:22.70 at 13:20. It's odd to me, Bob. They're running about 9:05 pace, but I don't understand why Brecker is taking the pace because he has one of the better kicks in this thing. But the guy who can really wind it up is Weston Brown. And you know it's slow because we have everybody still alive in this thing. And you can see Brecker looking down a little bit, seeing where everybody is. He looks to his right, looks down. Weston Brown loves this pace because he can really wind it up. Parra in the yellow. Everybody in this darn thing. And then the other thing, Bob, you have to consider is you don't want to get boxed in when it comes time to kick. So you got to make sure you hold your line, which Heemeyer has done a great job of, by the way.
Yeah,
really holding his line. Mm-hmm.
And Brown seems content to just sit there, although he moves a little away from the rail now. So he might be thinking about taking the lead. We're halfway through in 4:31.08.
So it's 9:02 pace. Parra probably smart to kind of move up and maybe take some of the pace-setting chores because, as I said, his leg speed is not the leg speed of these other guys. Landon Heemeyer has those long, sloping legs, strides. Ford Washburn, I'm sure, wants to run a little bit better than he did at the Hoka Festival of Miles. Landon Heemeyer is a 157.72 800 man. And that is not too bad at all. 8:59.57 is his PR for 3,200 meters. And they're allowing him to lurk in there. And the other guy, Bob, is Will Conway from Charleston, Indiana, a little unheralded. He's currently in fourth. And Brecker just kind of controlling this thing. And it probably suits him well. Hey, it's a slow pace. I'm a 156 800 guy. I can handle this. I'll take it from the front. Nobody wants to take over for him.
Conway's
and really the only
pressing just a little more, fourth to third.
Yeah, the only kicker that I would be worried about if I'm Brecker is Weston Brown. Weston Brown is in a box right now. He's going to have to maneuver around Heemeyer. Boy, we got a lot of people still left in this thing. Bob, one other thing. When you have people that are hanging around and hanging around and hanging around, they go, hey, wait a minute. I could win this thing. And they run a race well beyond what you would think they'd be capable of because, hey, why not me? And that's what we have here coming up to 2 laps to go. A lot of people still in the hunt.
And you don't know necessarily who's an 800 kick in this event and who's maybe a 4 or 500. And if they're all close enough, it's all in play.
very good point. Weston Brown, who's now moving into second, he's got that quick turnover. And I don't know if this is going to be a definitive move for him. But maybe he feels like, look, I can't kick with Brecker, but I can take it from 2 laps out, which is what he's trying to do here. .660 to go, and 660, little less than 660 to go, and Weston Brown is has really kind of broken this open, at least cutting the lead pack down to 5. Brecker still looks comfortable in second, and Neal now moving up. That's Weston Brown's teammate from Bozeman,
Yes.
Nathan Neal.
1 to go.
And that was a 64-second lap for Weston Brown. So now here we go, Bob. This is where it's really interesting. You've got Neal in third. We got the 2 Bozeman kids sandwiching Brecker. Brecker can really turn it up with his 800-meter speed, so Brown knows he's got to get some separation, which he's starting to do. Brecker looking down, and he's dragging teammate Neal along with him. What does Brecker have left? That's the question. 2:20 to go. And I think Brecker's done, Bob. This is the battle of Montana right here.
Here's the Battle of Bozeman. Brown, Neal. Neal's coming on. Weston Brown says, no, this is mine. Well, they were 2 seconds apart on the seed time and a little less than that for the title. A PR for Weston Brown, 8:53.02. And Neal goes 8:53.77. That's less than a second. Brecker, 8:58.87. Conway PR. Matura PRs. And Heemeyer ends up 6th.
PRs. Oh, maybe not. No, Heemeyer not PR. One observation on this one, Bob. So Weston Brown, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this race, he's got a really good strategic head. And he stole that race, Bob. He stole that race. He won it from a better runner, Noah Brecker. And he stole it because he was tactically very, very smart in the way he ran this thing. Taking it from 880 yards out, he took the sting out of Brecker's kick. And you can see this. This is the point, a great job queuing up that replay. This is the point where Weston Brown took over. And Weston Brown is tough. I've seen him do this a couple of times. And the real revelation here is Neal staying with his teammate. And, they're going mano a mano down the stretch. And Weston Brown gets it into yet another gear and closes off a 60.27 final 440 yards. And number 1, you are right, Weston Brown. You are number